Thanks for joining me today. Here are some of the tools that are suggested for this project: a tape measure, a straight edge, a level, a Sharpie, a box blade, a torch, sandpaper, scissors, a drill, self-tapping fasteners, some bolt cutters, insulation tape, a tub, and some rubber gloves. So first, what we're going to do here is we're going to take just some basic measurements on our tub. This tub is about 17 inches by 24 inches on the top. I use my level here to kind of help hold the tub level to help you with your measuring. It's about a foot tall. You see you lose a little bit here. It's about 21 inches wide here. Half of 21 is 10 and a half. 5 1/4 is the center of that. And then you come down from the top, you're 6 inches for halfway on the 1 foot. And you mark your center. Then you can take your square or straight edge, slide it up to the top there, and just like kind of visually slide it down here. And then you want to count over from the edge your 5 1/4 and mark. Once you've got those two marked, you can kind of line up your flanges there. The STL will be available in the link below the video here. Once you get those lined up, you use your Sharpie to go around the outside of them and trace them on. Kind of slide around on you a little bit, so it might take a little bit to trace them. To just repeat it on both sides. So you've got it traced, you heat your knife blade and start your cutting. Be sure and have a fan or do this in a well-ventilated area because there will be some smoke, and take your time. As you can see, I cracked mine there on the right side and I had to get it real hot and melt it kind of back together there. So just heating the blade again here to cut the second hole. You get it pretty warm, it cuts through like butter, and you'll kind of notice as it cools down it'll start to drag on you, and that's when you know you need to stick it back in front of the flame for a little bit. But be very careful not to burn yourself. Take your time, finish up your cuts. Once you've got it all out of there, you can use your sandpaper to kind of clean up your edges, and some alcohol pads or some isopropyl alcohol will clean up most of that marker that's left over, so you can just have a clean area. Then you want to test fit your flanges, make sure that they slide in, but you want it to be a pretty tight fit. You want them just to kind of barely fit in there. You want it to be real snug. Use your fingers and press it from the back side and force it up into the flange. Just do that on both sides, that way you know you've got a nice good seal. Not really a seal, but like a good fit, a good seat. Next, you'll want to pull your gloves over those same flanges. Take them back out and pull your gloves over the edge of the flanges. I'll link the Amazon link to the gloves that I used. It came in a 2-pack. They had a pretty heavy chemical smell to them whenever I first opened them, but I just let them air out for a day or so and it was okay. When you are putting these gloves in, remember that you're going to be flipping this tub over, so the lid will actually be your base. So on this left hand side, I am installing the right hand glove with the thumb facing upwards. And these gloves, they have a rubber ring on the end of them, so by forcing the glove through that hole while on the flange, it's going to press that ring up against that edge with our tight fit anyway. Adding that glove's thickness plus that rolled rubber is going to help us get a really good seal to keep this sterile box sterile. So you just sit there and work it in. Once you get one side in, you can move over to the other side. Trying to keep the glove pressed all the way up on the flange. Try to keep it on there as far as possible. Try to keep the flanges short though to not obstruct movement once you stick your arms inside of the box. You can see here that it is a pretty tight fit, but once you get it lined up and kind of get it started, you can get it pressed around there. Here I'm just pressing it up against the bead of that glove to make sure it's pressed up against it kind of evenly all the way around. I put the other side of the flange on there. Everything slides on just fine. Do it to the other side. Next we'll do our self-tapping fasteners. By drilling through one side into the other there, it's just going to pull those two flanges together on each side of that plastic tub and really squish that rubber and just create a seal to keep out any impurities and stuff once you spray down the inside of your box with the alcohol solution. Fastener number 2 in. For the last fastener, you want to flip the box up. That way you don't accidentally drill into the glove. I could have used some shorter fasteners, but these are just what I had available to me in my garage, just something left over from a project, so I just used what I had instead of going and buying something else. If you use shorter fasteners, you may not even have to do the next step where you snip the ends of the fasteners off. There we have all of the fasteners in now. Getting them nice and tight. Making sure that glove looks like it's squished all the way around. You can kind of see a little bit in there. Then you want to snip all the tips off your fasteners so when you're moving around you don't puncture your glove. Once you've got all your tips snipped off, you'll put your insulation tape around the top, cut it with your scissors to size, just put it around the very edge where the lid seats, and then seat your lid down, clamp your clips there, and you flip it over, and you can try on your gloves. They might be a little bit hard to slide on. I got some pretty snug gloves because I like to actually be able to feel what I'm doing even whenever I'm wearing the gloves and not feel like they inhibit my feel and make it more cumbersome for me to do the project. So once you get all this done, you could have your bottle of isopropyl alcohol already inside there. You could spray it all around and wipe things down. You have good range of motion in there. So you just kind of set everything up and then spray everything down once you get the box closed, and it's going to keep it sealed and keep you from getting contaminants in whatever you're working on. So yeah, you just get those gloves shook back out there, and here's the box. There's from the back side, and there's from the front side where you put your arms in. Thanks for watching. Find more cool stuff at panopticdesignco.com or here on this channel.